trade unions speaking in this session. The first speaker is Martin Rooney, Leader of the Council, and as you've heard this morning, Dunbartonshire passed a motion supporting the position of the trade union movement, so clearly we welcome that very much indeed, in line with the COSA's policy. So Martin's going to be the first speaker, followed by Janet from the Clydebank Trades Council.
Okay, well, thank you, Chair, for inviting me along today. I do have some notes which I'll be referring to as we go through. I've been at a couple of advice surgeries this morning, and I've got a remembrance concert at 4 o'clock. But I did want to come along today to show my support for this campaign. I'm Martin Rooney, the leader of Dunbartonshire Council. I've been invited along today to set out the council view of the bill, and also to give you an update of the COSLA position on the Trade Union Bill 2015. My responsibility today, therefore, is fairly straightforward: to share information with colleagues. My contribution will focus on the importance of adopting a reasoned position, as the evidence does not support the case for the proposed changes in the bill. In 2000, Dunbartonshire Council has a long history of supporting the trade unions. In 2013, the Council backed the national campaign to outlaw the practice of blacklisting of trade union members. We also called for legislative changes to ensure the public procurement rules prevent any company involved in blacklisting benefiting from future public contracts in Scotland. On the 28th of October this month, we agreed a motion opposing TTIP. That's the second time that we have brought this to Council. Previously it was Councillor Gail Casey brought a motion, and last week Councillor George Black brought a motion, and that received unanimous support at both meetings. Last week as well, on the 28th of October, the Council unanimously agreed the opposition to the Trade Union Bill. We actually had a discussion, but our position was to stick with the SDUC motion, albeit that parts of it are for the Council potentially illegal. We decided that, despite that advice from the legal officer, that we wanted to stick with the campaign and the trade union SDUC motion. Employees of Dunbartonshire Council rarely take industrial action. Strike action over the last 20 years or so has fallen dramatically. In fact, the last time we had strike action was way back about 15 years ago, which is a nursery nurse dispute, and then we had a national our trade unions get involved in the national strikes, and elected members were on the picket lines with them supporting that one day of action. Therefore, we don't believe there is sufficient evidence to support a change in legislation. We believe a change in legislation will actually limit the trade union's ability to represent their members in Dunbartonshire properly. We are more than happy with the existing arrangements that we have in place, which have been negotiated and agreed by the Council and our recognised trade unions to suit local needs. In September this year, COSLA leaders discussed the draft Trade Union Bill 2015. If enacted, the draft Trade Union Bill would amend the Trade Union and Labour Relations Consolidation Act 1992. COSLA leaders considered the key aspects of the draft bill as follows. Trade unions would require a 50% turnout for industrial action ballots. For industrial action in important public services, TUs would require 40% of those entitled to vote to be in favour of industrial action, so again raising the threshold even further. The period of notice that trade unions would have to give employers would increase from 7 days to 14 days. Industrial action ballot mandates would also expire after 4 months and require a fresh ballot for industrial action. There would be changes to the legal requirement relating to the supervision of picketing. Political fund contributions would change from an opt-out option to an opt-in agreement. And this would have to be renewed 5 years again, a measure to try and undermine member support. The introduction of new powers that allow a minister to set regulations relating to facility time or to restrict facility taken by union officials, and the role of the certification officer would change to include investigatory and enforcement powers, and could even impose financial penalties of up to £20,000 per breach. At the meeting of COSLA leaders, we also heard that the Department for Business and Innovation and Skills was also consulting on measures which didn't feature in the draft bill, such as repealing existing prohibition on hiring agency staff to replace workers participating in industrial action, and changes to the laws on picketing, including the possible creation of a new criminal offence of intimidation on the picket line. The UK Government has also indicated it intends to amend the bill to abolish check-off in the public sector, preventing us from deducting payments from wages, union dues from wages. Again, the big concern was that there was no evidence to support a change in legislation. As a result, COSLA leaders unanimously opposed the draft Trade Union Bill 2015. Leaders were concerned that the draft bill would fundamentally alter the way in which councils, as employers, work alongside trade unions at both local and national levels. We also unanimously agreed to that COSLA support the trade union lobbying position and publicly oppose the bill. COSLA also unanimously agreed to issue a public statement of support that would form the basis of our lobbying position within the UK. The public statement is as follows: Scottish local authorities and trade unions have a shared and long-established commitment to joint or partnership working. Our partnership extends beyond industrial relations to bring joint solutions to the design, delivery and transformation of public services. We are concerned that there is no evidential basis for changes suggested in the bill. Stable industrial relations in Scottish local government are underpinned by modest facility time agreements with trade unions and binding agreements for deducting trade union contributions. The cost of these arrangements is modest. Trade unions make direct contributions to those costs, and the dividend that accrues to services and service users represents significant value for money. As devolved bodies, we consider ourselves empowered to engage in these arrangements, and it is therefore our intention to honour and protect existing industrial relations in local government. We would therefore urge the UK Government to reconsider this unjustified and unnecessary restriction on the devolved competency of Scottish local government, which could lead to destabilised local government industrial relations. In conclusion, there is not sufficient evidence that justifies a change of legislation, and since September, most councils in Scotland have individually brought forward a motion backing the STUC campaign to oppose the bill. COSLA backs the STU's position and campaign. We need to stick to the arguments, use reason and persuasion, with a view to building up political and public support in order to kill this bill. So thank you.
Thanks very much, Martin. As I said, we very much welcome the support of the Council for the trade union position. If we just make one point clear, because when it was advertised that Martin was speaking, we were approached saying, well, she's not have an SNP speaker for balance. So I want to make it clear, Martin's here representing the Council, as leader of the Council. It's a Council position. He's not here in the capacity as a Labour Party councillor. It's leader of the Council. So just wanted to make that clear. So thanks, Martin.